Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to dive into product research. Now, I generally advise that you have the product ideas ready ahead of time and that you've seen some demand for it. Now, this can happen through maybe having like an Etsy shop or a previous shop on another platform that you've experienced sales with, but you're just moving that over to Shopify. But if you're starting from scratch like we are, we're going to start off with the research period. So let's dive in. I'm going to move myself to the side here. So create a list of resources that you can use to research products with. So a lot of these are based on Amazon sales. Some are based on Shopify sales too, but you're looking at not necessarily platform specific sales. You're looking for demand for a product and making sure that that idea is validated and that that idea exists and there's people purchasing that product that you want to create. So you can validate that. Okay. I'm going to go through these one by one. I'm not going to go through each one in depth, but I will provide access to this list below and you guys can utilize this when you're ready to start your research period. So I've already completed my research period, and my research period was reliant on a few different factors other than demand. Mine was really reliant on features, and tomorrow is going to be a big reveal. Tomorrow we're going to go through domain registration as well as what the product is and sort of the goal of how it's going to be set up at the end of the day. So let's go through some of these resources here. So the first one's Seller Pulse. So Seller Pulse, you can sign up to evaluate either AliExpress or Amazon. As you can see here, when we look at AliExpress, it's safe to assume that the majority of these AliExpress items are probably being drop shipped through Shopify. So if we click on AliExpress or Amazon, like I said, we can do both because this is not platform specific. It's product research in general. A lot of these softwares and websites have a higher tier, but a lot of them have the free tier as well too. So if you start going through these, the free tiers of each one is more than enough. And when you start to combine these resources together, that's when you'll start to see trends happening over time and themes throughout your research too. So with Seller Pulse, you can search through different drop shippers that are available through AliExpress. And if I clicked on the Amazon one, it would sort of show me the same thing. You can search by country. Seller Pulse gives you specific product information. Some of these are going to sort of hit different avenues. So Seller Pulse gives you specific product information of sales on the two platforms of AliExpress and Amazon. We also have Answer the Public. Answer the Public is a little bit different than Seller Pulse, because this is more of a search engine tool. So now we can start to see what people are looking for. So the example here is chocolate. Say you wanted to make something related to chocolate. You type in the keyword. Again, there is a pro version. You can get pretty far with the free versions of these. And you can download the CSV if you want to start collecting data that way. Download the image. But basically, this collects from Google what the most common questions are asked. So this is what people are typing into Google to find out more about this product. So you can put a specific product in here to find out the questions that people are asking about that product, because if you can answer those questions and you can answer some of their objections on your product page, it's going to be an easier sell as well as help for search engine optimization as well too. If you're running a blog on Shopify, this becomes especially useful because it will give you keywords, and basically just by typing in the word chocolate, I've got like 200, 150, 200 ideas for blog posts. Really great to see what people are searching for related to your product. Okay, charm.io. Charm's interesting. I actually just found out about Charm. They're a DTC, which means direct to consumer. So they manufacture their goods and they sell them direct to the consumer without any sort of middleman. So you can go and search for any brand that you're curious about in the field and find out some stats on them too. This can be a super interesting platform. My understanding, their searching is all free right now. A lot of times when these platforms get released, they're free for the first little while, and then they start to implement a paid plan. So the next one is on Amazon, searching bestsellers on Amazon. So even though we're creating a store on Shopify, Amazon's the biggest retailer. So we want to see if your product ranks as one of the better sellers, or if it's even in the area of better sellers. I just pulled up kitchen and sort of home goods right now. And some of these items can be complicated. You probably don't want to compete with Black & Decker to create a dustbuster, but it's good to be able to evaluate to see if your ideas or ones that are complementary to the product that you're thinking of do exist in here. So again, more information on Amazon bestseller lists. Next one we've got is, I use Teespring as an example. So for this one, what you want to do is find out, you don't have to use Teespring specifically, but you want to find out the sites that already sell your products. You can use Etsy for this as well too, and see sort of the top bestsellers in Etsy for the products that you're looking to create. And they always have a bestsellers list. So hint, hint, we are going to be doing apparel when we create the store. So that's why I use Teespring as an example, because if I can see the best-selling t-shirts on Teespring, then we're like, okay, what are the price points? What does the quality look like? We're probably going to order maybe one or two from Teespring, just so I can start to see the quality difference from ones that I can get made locally as well too. So this is a really good way to start to price your product, as well as see different qualities and styles that are available. And we're seeing some very specific trends here. We're seeing short sleeve t-shirts and hoodies. Again, you want to think of the time of year as well too. We're going to get into that, but up here in Canada, we're definitely getting a little chillier. So I would probably put a little more effort into the hoodie or a zip up design than I would into a t-shirt design. So just thinking about the seasons that are coming up too, if you have something that's potentially seasonal. And that brings us to the next one. There's no link to this, but just looking up seasonal trends. So looking up trends that are back to school. We're kind of past back to school at this point. However, back to school for a lot of people looks very different this year. So it's possible that you may catch trends like back to school that have had a sudden adjustment, and maybe there's something in the back to school arena that's actually missing now. So lots of ways to sort of dig deeper on existing seasonal trends too. Of course, we're coming into October when this is being recorded, depends when you're viewing it, but we're coming into October when it's being recorded. So we're definitely coming into Halloween season, going into fall, going into Thanksgiving, and then right after that, it's going to be a quick pivot to the holiday seasons. There are always seasonal trends that are at least within the next 2 months. So that's something definitely to focus on as well too. So the next one's Helium. Again, is really based on Amazon. So we can still use this data for Shopify because it's not going to be platform specific. The items that are selling are the items that are selling, and we can carry that to our own platform as well too. So Helium, like you see, there is a free version and then several paid versions that go up quite a bit from there. And then when you hover over the resources, you'll see some of the free tools. It's got like Amazon keyword research, pay-per-click audit. There's a Chrome extension here as well. So like I mentioned before, there's definitely a lot of resources that you can utilize within the free levels of each one. So after Helium, we've got, of course, Google Trends. So this is free. And then we can enter search name and topic. This can be super valuable just to see what's coming up trend-wise. The user experience pretty straightforward, and you can also search by country as well. Again, more data to collect, so you can start to see themes throughout all the different areas that you're collecting data from to really validate your idea. All right, we also have Shopify trending products. So this one is Shopify specific. I mean, no one knows who's trending on that platform more than Shopify does. So going through, they have their trending products to sell in 2020. Shopify, like every other platform, wants you to use their platform, and they want you to sell a lot of stuff on their platform. They need you to succeed as much as you need them. So it's in their best interest to really be honest about this, do the research, and give you the best selling opportunities possible. So believe them when they say that they're the trending products in 2020. Their best interest is you selling a lot of products on your shop. So make sure you pay attention. The Shopify blog is something I would definitely subscribe to and follow. They have a lot of good information that's released there. Okay, this one might seem a little strange because it's not specifically SEO related. It's also not specifically product related. So Social Blade is super interesting because it evaluates all of the social media stats for any account ultimately. So it tells you the growth over time, tells you if they're gaining subscribers, losing subscribers, and all of that data. How you can use this in research to your advantage is you can look up people in this. So you can't look up products, but if there are people who you want to emulate, get a bunch of people in the industry that you want to sell in. So if it's makeup or you're in beauty, say you want to look for James Charles. Now I know it's a pretty big name, and he's involved in more than just makeup, but at least you can see sort of an idea of the stats you can get from them. You can also check various platforms too. So you can check up any user you like on any of these platforms and see their stats over time. And if this user is sort of their product, they are the face of their product, it's probably a pretty good indication of their sales. It's a good indication of their marketing strategy, which you can take a peek on. It's also really good to see whether that industry is growing. So I wouldn't just check one person, get 4 or 5 people in one industry. If everything's on an upward trend, it's probably a good idea to take note of. Okay, passion, making a shop, following it through, selling stuff, dealing with customer requests, dealing with returns. This is not easy. It's not easy work. Definitely in the beginning, and something that you can outsource over time. At the beginning, it's going to be you doing all of this. You better be excited about what you're doing, because that's what's going to carry you through. That's what's going to let you stay up late at night, answering customer requests, fulfilling orders. Is your passion about the product, your passion about the space, and your passion about your place in the space and making it better. So that's my soapbox about, please love your product. Love, at the very least, believe in your product. Believe that it works and believe that it serves. Okay, next suggestion. This is sort of just a little side note. We're definitely going to get into pricing a little bit later, but in all the sites I've created, now this is definitely subjective, but in all of the sites that I have created, I have seen anecdotally that you need to operate at least with a margin of 30%, and the product needs to be at least $20. People who are selling products that are like $6, $7, $8, and if they're getting like a 20% margin, the work is not worth it, truthfully. So this also goes into product research, which is why I included it in this video, because I want you guys to start thinking about this early. You want to think about a margin of at least 30%. So that means when everything's said and done, when shipping, production, all of that's done, you're walking away with 30% of what you're charging, and the product should be at least $20. This, in my experience, is how I've seen us maximize products and grow exponentially and really start to rack up that profit so that you guys can run promotions and better serve your audience as well too. So final one is the product touch list. So this is interesting. And if you're on TikTok or Instagram, there's a man named Dan Back. He's an Amazon seller. He shares a ton of tips on Amazon selling. Of course, there's a lot of those tips that are great for e-commerce in general. Highly recommend following him. But he did come up with a sort of a product touch list. So basically what this is throughout the entire day, make a note of everything you touch. So we've got a hard drive, I've got my headphones, I've got hand sanitizer, obviously, pens, paper. So you want to start making notes throughout the entire day. And I would suggest even throughout the entire week, because there's some stuff you use on a weekly basis that you don't necessarily use every day. Definitely go through for a whole week, record on paper every single thing you touch. And if it's over a week, how many times you touch it, because chances are it's going to be the same as so many other people. And the second step to that is to note your frustrations with those things that you interact with on a daily basis. So that's how you can come up with ideas that innovate and elevate some already existing products out there. I'm going to leave this list for you guys down below. Let me know, reach out if you have any questions. Tomorrow, we are going to go through domains. We're going to choose our domain, and I am going to explain in detail the product that we will be making, and we will be diving in. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow.